Welcome to the Transform with Vance podcast, where transformations begin every day, and I am your host, Vance Hines. So let's get started. All right, this is Vance, and I'm here with Seth Barnes, another great, wonderful DDPY transformation success story. And I asked him to let me probe his mind and pick his brain a while about his journey. And I welcome Seth Barnes to the Transform with Vance podcast. How are you, Seth?
I'm great. I'm doing awesome.
So tell us. I try to just get you to throw out some facts, a little bit about your journey, right up front before I start kind of meandering you around, so to get their attention, so they know what kind of story we're talking about here. So tell them a little bit about your journey and what you've done and where you're at today.
Sure. About 15, 16 months ago, I was at my worst weight of, I had gone to the doctor for some panic attacks and anxiety issues, and I was kind of freaking out. My body didn't really want me to sleep anymore for some reason, and I think after 20 years of abuse, eating and being, doing all the bad things you're not supposed to do, my body kind of finally told me it's time to get it in gear. And when I went to the doctor, I had noticed that I actually was a little bit less weight than I was probably the last time I went to the doctor, which was probably like a year before that, when I was probably close to 600 pounds. And I weighed in at 561, and I was like, hey, I lost a little bit of weight. And I just made my mind up right there to, I was having a lot of pain in my neck and shoulders and all that kind of stuff from just years of abuse. And I decided to fix it. And that's how I got started on it. As far as finding the program, that was a little different. So yeah.
How much have you lost overall?
I've lost, yesterday I was a little bummed out. I gained about 9 pounds this week, and I don't know if it's muscle or what, because I also do weight training now. And I just, well, I'm 221 now. I've lost 221 in about 16 months. Yeah.
So you went from 560
561 to 340.
to 340. You're 221 down.
Yeah,
All right.
221.
Man, that is awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's unbelievable. I don't know how I'm continuing to do it, but I'm doing it.
All right. How old are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm going to be next Saturday. Well, I'm not sure when this will be coming out, but I'll be 40 years old. So on the 29th of January, I'm turning 40, and I'm excited that at 40 years old, I'm probably in the best shape of my life. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, the podcast will come out on the 31st. So you'll be 40 on the Monday when this podcast comes out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be 40 by then. So yeah, it's
That
kind of
is
wild,
awesome.
but yeah.
Welcome to the 40-year-old generation, man. I'm
I
I'm
know.
57, so
Yeah.
40 was kind of a big number. It seemed like.
Yeah. It is, but I think I'm handling it better knowing that I'm going in the way I am right now, and I think that's the best part. Yeah.
So where do you live?
I live in San Pedro, California, which is basically a suburb of Los Angeles. It's the port where everything comes in. I don't know, a couple months ago when we were having all those problems getting the trucks going and getting all the goods to everywhere around the country, we're that main port. So LA port, yeah.
Oh man. So when they were talking about the trucks being stuck out there in the water, you could see them?
Oh, there's probably 50 to 100 of those containers out there, container ships. It was crazy. There's still some out there. I mean, they're always out there. Longshoring is a big part of the town I live in, San Pedro. we're on a peninsula here, and it's really beautiful here. We have awesome views, and just about every movie and TV show is filmed in our town. It's kind of crazy.
Well, how far from Camp Pendleton are you?
Uh, Camp Pendleton. That's about an hour, a little over an hour. Yeah, it's a
Is this
halfway between us and San Diego. So yeah,
is there something else called like San Benito or something down below? You're saying something else?
there's a lot of there's so many sands. San
Yeah.
Diego, San Clemente is one.
San
Yeah, that's
Clemente,
down
that's
there.
where we went. I
Yeah,
was thinking we were somewhere down in there.
yeah,
All
yeah. It's
right.
about an hour away. Yeah,
Yeah. All right. And did you grow up in that area? Or is that home or where's
yeah,
home?
yeah. It's been home my whole life. Here, it's considered the South Bay of LA, and I love it. It's one of those towns that you can't get away from, even though you probably need to, but it's always been home. Whenever I leave, I want to come back. You know.
Are you a surfer?
No, I've never been a surfer. I used to like boogie board when I was a kid, but music's been my entire life. That's my journey.
That's your gig.
It's my gig, yes.
Well, what do you do for a living?
I'm teaching music at a music school, which is two doors down from my house. I have about a 40 feet walk. It's pretty amazing. There's a little residential neighborhood, and there's an old music school there. And I just got that job in April. So, yeah.
What instrument do you play?
I'm mainly a guitar player, but I also can play drums and piano and some bass guitar. I kind of teach it all. Beginning piano, that's not my, I haven't done that since I was like, 15. So, but I can teach the basics and then they can go from there.
So, did you? I mean, what got you into music? How did you get into music?
It's kind of ingrained in my family. My mom was a classical music person. I mean, she was classically trained as a flute player, and since she was 3 years old, before she even learned how to read letters, she was reading notes with her aunts, my great aunt here, and my dad was already has some musical on his side too. And he was playing guitar in high school and all that kind of stuff until he met my mom in college. So, yeah.
And what high school did you go to?
I went to San Pedro High School. Yeah,
Were
the
you were
home of
you
the Pirates.
were you in
Yeah,
the band? Were you in the band at San Pedro?
I was. I was in. It was either going to be play football or be in the band, and I chose the band over probably being like a center and offensive lineman for sure. I've always been a big kid, so I was in drumline for 2 years, and then I didn't kind of want to do it anymore. But I always stuck around in like jazz band playing guitar and stuff, so that was fun.
Ah, well, that's
Yeah,
cool. Did you go to college?
I did. I've been kind of in and out of college for 20 something years, and I'm hoping to go back and get out of there and finish up. I'm not sure what I kind of want to do yet. I'm still kind of figuring that out. I'm a super late bloomer in life, but I guess you can always do it. It doesn't matter what age you are.
Well, it sounds like you're chasing your passion with the music.
I am. I would love to have a career either teaching music or something like that, but it's a rough world out there, and I don't know if I'm cut out for like the touring life. I do have a rock band, and we're actually playing on my 40th birthday next week, so
All
it's gonna be a
right.
lot of fun. Yeah,
What's the
locally
name
at
of the
this.
rock band?
We're called Warehouse One. Um, if you've ever heard of
Where?
a band called Warehouse One, yeah, it's kind of based off our town being a longshoreman town. The old warehouse where they used to unload back in, I don't know, the late 1800s, early 1900s was called Warehouse Number One. So we decided to kind of go with that theme. So yeah,
What kind of music?
uh, it's very reggae, punk rock. It's very 1990s. That's where when my era when I kind of grew up. Even though I'm an early 80s kid when I was born, but um, have you ever heard of a band called Sublime? They're
Yes.
from Long Beach, which is the city right over the bridge from me. It's about 10 minutes away. And it's very much in that kind of a sound. We
I
love
love
it. So,
Sublime. You know what I got, and Santeria, and
yeah,
I love me some Sublime.
they're awesome.
Yeah. So, so Warehouse Wonder. So it sounds kind of like a Sublime type band, huh?
Yeah, we're on Spotify. So it's one with O-N-E. Yeah,
Oh, and then
O-N-E.
Warehouse One. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'll
So yeah,
subscribe.
Spotify.com. We got a couple albums up there. And we're probably on some other platforms too, like iTunes Music or whatever it's called. Or yeah,
Well,
yeah,
where? So, have you played any other bands besides Warehouse One?
yeah. My lead singer in Warehouse One actually was. He's been in like every single band with me since we were in ninth grade. So, uh, trying to remember some of the names of those early bands. I think we were called. Oh yeah. I don't mean to. Is it okay if I say a cuss word? It's not that bad, but is that okay?
Shit,
Or
shit, I don't care.
well, there you go. We were called bitch next door. So
Yeah.
because the next door neighbor hated us, and that was a long time ago. I was probably
Yeah,
about 16.
that's
Yeah.
funny.
And then I was in a band called the Strapping Young Lads. I played drums in that band because out of the three of my friends that wanted to form the band, they said, "Well, you're the only one that can play drums." And I said, "Okay, so I'll play drums." And I loved it. It was fun. It was fun.
So who do you consider to be your the person that really you favor in music? What do you call the ones that inspire you? Your muse or whatever you
Oh,
call it.
like guitar players?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in music in general, I was a giant Beatles fan growing up. My parents really influenced me. My mom with the classical music, and then my dad with the rock. And the rock kind of won. I will always say that. My dad was a giant Neil Young fan, and I'm a huge Neil Young fan. Led Zeppelin. I grew up on a lot of like Crosby, Stills and Nash and James Taylor, Jackson Brown, and a lot of blues artists and stuff. I got into when I was starting to play guitar. Like my all-time favorite guitar player, other than Jimi Hendrix, is Stevie Ray Vaughan. He's the
Oh
man.
man.
I, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
love
love
that
me
stuff.
some Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
He's from Austin, which is where actually he's from Oak Cliff, which is about 20 miles from Waxahachie.
Oh
But
yeah.
he grew up playing in Austin and in Deep Ellum and stuff. But yeah, that was a big
Yeah.
loss when that helicopter crashed.
Oh, yeah. I was about 8 years old when that happened, but I think my uncle got me one of his records when I was about 14, and ever since then I was hooked. I love him. He's awesome.
I love those Austin city limits where he's just sitting there sweating and just playing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Unbelievable. And
yeah. Unbelievable.
what blues? I like the blues too. What other blues artists you like?
Um, like
What about Guy
Kenny
Clark?
Wayne Shepherd. Oh, what? Gary Clark Jr. Yeah, yeah. He's
Yeah, is
good.
that his
Is
name?
that who you're
Man,
talking about?
shit, I think his name was Guy Clark, but I may be thinking of maybe
Oh,
mixing him
okay.
up
Oh, there's
with
I've
the
seen
country
like Buddy
western guy.
Guy.
Buddy Guy, that's who I'm
Buddy,
thinking of. Buddy
yeah,
Guy.
Buddy Guy. I saw
Yeah,
him once in Catalina at their. They have a big casino ballroom there, and when I was about 18, and that was fantastic.
that dude can
Uh,
play, man.
yeah, he could play. Um, there's a lot. BB King's awesome.
BB King,
All those Kings. Albert King. That's where Stevie Ray Vaughan got a lot of his sound
Freddie
from.
King, Freddie King.
Freddie King. Freddie King.
You
I
know,
was a
I
big Eric Clapton fan. Yeah.
I saw BB. I think three times in my life, and I saw him once. Well, a couple of times, and it was more of a white crowd. But then we went to this one where it was the Longhorn Ballroom, and it was almost what we were. People I was with was one of the very few white people in there, and man, he brought the house down at that show. It
I'm
was
sure.
it was a lot of fun, and I can't remember. I think that Bobby Blue Bland might have been there with him that night. I'm not sure, but it was that was the best show I'd ever seen. But I was creeping on your Facebook and I saw that you had a. I was telling you before we started, you had John Mayer, BB King, and Derek Trucks.
Yep.
On a Derek Trucks solo there playing on your Facebook. I listened to it, man, and those are three good guitar players there.
Oh, the best. That was a real touching moment. Being a guitar player and the genuine look on BB King's face when he's like, that was like some of the best playing. I
Yeah,
can't imagine what that must have felt like for Derek Trucks to be able to feel that. It's awesome.
yeah.
Like, oh man, that means a lot, I'm sure.
Well, and I was never a big John Mayer fan, but then
Hmm.
I was a big Deadhead. I loved the Grateful Dead,
Ah,
and and then after when Jerry died, I didn't. I thought the band would die, but my wife went and saw. Uh, they call them Dead and Company now, with
yeah,
John
yeah. I heard he
Mayer
was touring
playing.
with them. Yeah.
And I gotta say, we went to see him. We've seen him twice now with him playing, and I'm a huge John Mayer fan, man. I mean, it was unbelievable. He would just, it's a little different style. It's a little almost like a little
Yeah.
slower cadence than, with Jerry, you were kind of a rolling bluegrass kind of feel, but with John,
Yep.
it was kind of a little more soulful kind of feel to it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
but man, I tell you, I'm a huge John Mayer fan now that I've seen him twice with the
I
Grateful
bet.
Dead and playing
Yeah.
and
I didn't really like his acoustic stuff that much, but my cousin let me have one of his albums called Continuum from like 15 years ago, and it's just fantastic playing. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
well, if you get a chance to go see Dead and Company with him playing, it's worth the trip, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I never really got into the Grateful Dead, but I've been trying to convince myself I should, to
Well,
broaden my horizons. So,
yeah. Well, that's just it's kind of an old hippie deal, but it's
yeah.
but the thing about them is that every night's improvisational. They never know how they're going to play the song. Used to. Now they've got with Dead and Company they got sets, but supposedly back since the '60s when they were in the acid Kool-Aid test that they never had a set list, so they would just go out there and start playing. And so
Sounds like it.
that's why people would follow them around everywhere because every night was
Mm.
different. But I don't know.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
yeah, so you never knew what you were gonna get, and every song was different. They would just play, and it sounded like the songs would just go on forever. It'd be all improv.
Yep.
Anyway,
Hmm.
I'll get off my Grateful Dead.
It's okay.
My Grateful Dead speech. So anyway, but man, I love that you had three. I love BB King. I'm learning to like Derek Trucks.
Hmm.
And what's the name of the lady singer that sings with the Derek Trucks band?
Oh,
She's a
Susan
real
Tedeschi is his wife. Yeah.
Tedeschi. Yeah, she's a real
Yeah.
bluesy sounding. I like her.
Hmm.
So I
Yep.
got to get more into them and get more into that. I like the
It's
jam
fun
bands.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
I'll leave you alone. Let's get to
It's okay.
let's get to your weight loss. Let's get out of the music. Let's
Sure.
get to your weight loss.
Sure.
So you weighed in your heaviest at 562 pounds.
61. Yeah. Yeah.
61. All right. So tell me
Yeah.
tell me what your life like was to give me a kind of, from your high school till 561. What was your life like to get to that point?
Well, I was always a really big kid, like a lot of people. I think I graduated high school at about 315, around there. And I was always a big kid. And once I got a car after high school, it was, and I had an excuse to go get whatever food I want. And it just, for 20 years, over 20 years, I just started eating really bad and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And, I'm a emotional eater, like a lot of people, I'm sure. And, that was my coping. I was never into drugs and alcohol very much. I mean, everybody has a drink once in a while, but I just never really got into that, and that was my drug, was food. I mean, just it got horrible towards 2020, especially 2019. I was just probably consuming like 10 to 15,000 calories a day easily. I just go to the store and buy bags of chips and ice cream containers and just consume, consume, consume. And I started becoming kind of antisocial, and I've always been a social person. So, it was just a spiral.
So
But yeah.
when did you top 400 pounds?
Uh, Probably 15 years ago.
And
I
how
probably
tall are
gained
you?
100 pounds in a while. I'm gonna be 40. I was probably about 24 when I probably topped over 400
And
easily.
how tall are you?
I'm very tall, so I've always been able to hide it pretty well. I'm 6'3",
Six
so
three.
yeah, like your last guest you had a couple weeks ago. I mean, I'm
Justin.
not. I think he was like 6'6" or something, six
He's
seven. I
six
was never
seven.
that
Yeah.
tall. Yeah. Most people always guess my weight wrong. They always were off by like 100 pounds because I guess I hide it proportionally. So yeah,
And
yeah.
then, and what about when do you think you topped 500 pounds?
Um, Probably about 2010 ish, 2011, like 10 years ago. Uh, Easily probably topped it then. I was always so bad about going to the doctor because I didn't want to look at that scale and I didn't want to see what I was, and finding a scale that worked was hard enough, and oh gosh, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Do you have any other physical problems?
I had high blood pressure. I've been off my medication now for about 4 months, and I'm so happy to be off that stuff, man. I mean, not that it totally helped and worked, but when I found out I can get off of it and not have to worry about it, it's a pretty awesome feeling. And other than high blood pressure, I actually genetically am kind of gifted. Even at my worst weight, I never had high cholesterol. Um, I was never even pre-diabetic. I'm blessed in that way. And of course, when I did my blood numbers about 10 months ago or whatever it was, my doctor knew it was going to just, it looked like the 1929 stock market crash. Everything came down even way more. And that's an awesome feeling. It's like I aced a test or something. I was just like, all right. So I'm doing great. My A1C is awesome. And my cholesterol is like really what, really good. I eat a
Are
lot of
you
spicy food, so that probably helps. So,
are you married?
yeah. No, I'm not married. I just started dating again after a long time of not dating because you're always overweight, and you know I it's going good so far. It's a nice little reward for what you do. I'm doing this for me. I mean, that's the main reason I'm doing this. Is I deserve it. All my friends always told me, you care about everybody else so much, but we watch you destroy yourself. And for the first time ever, I'm putting myself first, and it feels so good to do it. And it's one of the nice benefits is being able to date somebody, that's an awesome person. And you know, I guess she was telling me she knew she didn't know me, but she knew because of my rock band who I was and how big I was. And she was like, I would have went out with you at that size. That wasn't the problem. So that always feels nice to know that that wasn't the issue. But it's a benefit when you can be in better shape for just be in a better mental place. I'm in the best mental place I've ever been, and it's very hard. I mean, everybody has their struggles, but
Now
I'm pulling through.
you said something a minute ago that at some point in your weight that you became kind of I can't think of the word you used, isolationist or a hermit, or you
Yeah,
didn't want to go
yeah,
out. I forget what the word you used. Can you expand on that some?
yeah. I think I said like antisocial.
And
Um, I just, yeah, I became like a little a recluse, and I just didn't want to go out anymore. I've always been a super social person, and uh, love going out and having a good time. And that food addiction just, I was always been alone in your room kind of person. Sit there and watch TV and eat and eat and eat until you're so stuffed you don't want to eat anymore. And I don't know why I did that. I can't really explain it other than it was convenient and fun. But bad things will happen to you out in the outside world. That's kind of was just the way I would cope. So, yeah.
when you talking about bad things happening in the outside world, what are you talking about?
Um, like I said, I'm a very late bloomer, and getting my career going has been very hard for me. I I'm good at certain subjects in school, but like the whole general education system and having to take classes that you really don't need. I understand why they do it. I'm very bad at math and like science, and I just didn't want to. A lot of times, I haven't really wanted to move on with my life. I very much like being in my little bubble, and like being in my comfort zone, so to speak. And it's been really hard for me to wander out of it. Um, I have very supportive parents. I still live with them right now. But a lot of people would say they've enabled me, but they love me and I love them, and we get along great. And I'm so happy that they're so happy that I'm starting to, fix myself. I think I needed to fix this weight issue I've had my whole life to be able to go on to the next step career wise. That's my next big goal right now, is getting some kind of a career going, moving out finally, getting on with my life. I mean, I'm 40 years old in a week, and I should have done this so long ago. I've deserved to do this for myself so long ago. And now that I mean, it's still a battle, and I'm still going through the weight loss, and not to where I want to be exactly yet. But I just think that I have the tools to do it. And if I can do this, I can get a career going. I can get my, whether it's a degree or something, because this is the hardest challenge of my entire life. And I've been conquering it and winning. And it feels so good. I mean, even with the setbacks, and I've been battling through those setbacks, and, mentally, it's so hard. And, but I feel like I've been like, I was hiding, like the real me was somewhere behind that big person, and it's come out and it's never going back. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, I don't ever want to go back to where I was. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna gain some weight and lose some weight, and I know that's part of life, and you got to live life and enjoy it, and give in once in a while. And I've been doing that very slowly. Um, but I actually love all the healthy food I eat. I really do. I just wish I could eat more of it, than I am. It's like, oh, if I could just have a little bit more, it'd be great. I have a nutritionist, and she really helps me out. One of my buddies uh, was like, I want to help you any way I can. And he knew a nutritionist, and she's been putting me on the right path as far as nutrition goes. I don't do the DDP nutrition part of it, but I do the yoga. So yeah.
Well, now, hey, I want to caution you to not say that word
Oh, I'm so sorry.
around Dallas,
I know.
uh,
I've seen his videos.
because yeah, he gets pretty animated if you say yoga without including DDP yoga
Yes,
or DDPY with it.
DDPY.
So
Yeah,
just say, yeah, just calling his program yoga is offensive to him. So
I know, I
and he's
know.
6'5", so I caution you to
I
practice
definitely,
saying DDP yoga and DDPY.
yeah,
Because I've made that mistake many times. I've made that mistake many times.
yeah. He's just, I mean, I've never talked to him. I have his autograph, which is funny. He worked on when he lived in LA. My friend used to do a lot of movies, be an extra and stuff, and he didn't know who Dallas was, but he went up to him and said, "My one of my best buddies loves wrestling, so I know he's gonna know who you are." So when he gave me his autograph, I was like, "Oh yeah, I know. He was one of my favorites. I was a big, even though I grew up a WWE fan, I was a big WCW guy during that whole Monday Night War, and I was about 16 when Dallas was doing his thing, and I always loved his stuff. So,
That's awesome.
and that's how I knew
That's
about it,
awesome,
and
man.
saw him helping Jake and Scott Hall. I was always a huge Scott Hall mark, as they say, and yeah, so that's what got me watching those videos. I saw the Arthur video, and I was like, I gotta do this. Then I saw your video last year when I was first starting, and I was super inspired, man. And I just was like, okay. And I'm a big fan of Bert Kreischer and all those guys.
I love that guy.
Yeah, yeah, he's hilarious. And I was just like, oh man, I gotta do something. If he can do it, I can do it. And I just started believing in myself. I started going to therapy via Zoom because during the COVID, that's the craziest thing about this is for me to be able to go on this journey as so many others during COVID has been like that's what a lot of my friends tell me. They're like, I can't believe you did this at this time when everybody else is gaining weight, you're losing weight. I don't get it, And I guess it just gave me time to concentrate on myself. You have to sit there and deal with it. You know.
Well, it's when that flip switches, when that switch flips, or however you want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird when it hits. It's just you just know you're not going to stop.
I'm never gonna stop. I
I
mean,
want to ask
yeah,
you about that.
sure.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I forgot what I was gonna say now. It's okay.
Well, I wanted to ask you about the therapy. What kind of therapy? Because I've been toying with the idea of getting therapy, but I haven't. I haven't, for one reason or another, dove in on it yet. I'm just kind of nervous.
Um,
Tell me what kind of therapist and what, if you don't mind, you can tell
no,
me.
not at all.
You don't want to tell me if you want. So
No, it's
whatever
fine.
you willing to talk about.
Yeah, I have a Kaiser Permanente, and they have a whole therapy program there. I just when I was in eighth grade, I was having a real tough time in school. Kind of was a loner, and I've never been a loner. I just didn't have a lot of friends, and it was a real, it's a tough time in life when you're 14 and you're overweight and you're in a LAUSD public school system, which wasn't the nicest of areas of a school. Even though San Pedro's a strange town with there's little pockets of great areas and really bad areas, and it's super diverse population wise, and I love that, and because I was friends with everybody, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. I was always cool with
Yeah.
everybody, and so it was just a rough time for me. And my mom said, "I want you to go to a therapist and just see." So that was my first time, and she just wanted to make sure I'd be okay because when I got to high school and I got in the marching band, it's like I got a whole group of friends and I was great, and I found my calling in music, and I loved high school, so that wasn't a problem. Socially, it was great. Um, but as far as therapy goes, I've been in and out of therapy two or three times, but I just wasn't committed. I wasn't. I just didn't know if I could trust these people. I wasn't letting them all the way in. But this last time, when you're at your lowest point and you're at rock bottom, at least for me, I just decided to give. to give in and let this person, this therapist, figure out what's going on with me mentally. Why am I not loving myself when I should? Because I'm a happy-go-lucky person. I've always been that way. I mean, everybody, I don't have an enemy. If I do have an enemy, I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I'd question them like, why? What did I do to you? Because I've always, every girl I've ever known has always described me as a big teddy bear, and I might try to act tough, like if I'm in a tough situation. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fighter or anything, but it's I just started going to therapy uh, because I knew I had to get myself right in my head before I could take this journey the right way. Um, I had a lot of support from friends calling me and being on the phone with me because I was in a lot of physical pain. My neck, I couldn't get an MRI because I didn't fit in the machine that they provided. I had to go to UCLA up there, and they didn't have a machine I can fit in. So they were like, you got to get down to 450 pounds before we can really find out what's going on with your neck and your pain. Mm-hmm. And then I finally got down to that weight, got the MRI. That I got some degeneration in my C5 and C6 up here, and some arthritis in my shoulder. Just 20 years of, bad posture and all that kind of stuff just took its toll. And I knew that if I was going to physically get myself in shape, I needed mental help. And she just, if anything, it's not even that I was that messed up and that like manic depressive or anything like that. I was never that way. I needed encouragement. I didn't have the confidence, and I didn't have the self-esteem to care about myself enough. And my therapist, instilled it in me, and it was a slow process. It was journaling. It was, just write down what you eat. Try to do something good for yourself every single day, and that's how it started. And then before I knew it, she was like, I don't think you need me anymore. You're okay. I mean, if you ever want to come back, you can come back, but you're going to be all right.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a couple of questions.
Anytime.
From my conversation with Justin Dobbins, Justin really feels that the transformation or the journey or the weight loss is, I think he said 60% mental.
Oh, yeah.
And I had never thought of it that way. And in your journey, did you go to see the therapist before you started to change your eating habits and work out, or in what order did, say, the mental side versus the physical side versus the nutritional side?
Well, in the past for me, when I did therapy before and it wasn't catching, I wasn't doing anything, of course. I wasn't working out at all. And so I kind of started just walking in my neighborhood and as much as I could physically. And then basically, I think my mom said, look, I want you to get some therapy again. And I said, okay. So I did it after. And then it was concurrent at the same time. While I was doing that, I was doing the physical stuff, and then the nutritionist came in. Yeah.
and this therapy, was it specific for eating disorders, or was it addiction, or was it just general?
General.
It was general therapist.
General
so
therapist.
It's just someone just. Okay, that's kind of what I was curious. I was wondering. Yeah. Because I've called these eating disorder places and tried to get in, but money's always a big prohibitive factor for me. But anyway.
No, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And when I have gone to them, I don't know if it's my hefty lawyer skepticism, but I'm always leave thinking surely I leave feeling that it was too basic, and they didn't they didn't challenge me enough, and we didn't click it right, and it was just I don't know. It just seemed like it'd be a waste of money to work through the process
I can understand that.
that I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so how do you find that right therapist, one that's going to find that is going to work for you?
Well, in my case, because I have it's called Covered California out here. I guess I don't know if they call it Obamacare anymore or whatever it's called. Affordable Care Act. That was it. I was able to get, and since we couldn't go in person here because of COVID, I was able to get pretty much free therapy. So that was a huge factor for me, being able to do it because I don't have a lot of money either, and it's a rough world out there. And but I think it was it was a mental decision. I just said, look, stop getting in your own way and let somebody help you. And I think that was the hardest part for me, was to let somebody into your world and just, they want to help you. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I just picked the right one or found the right therapist. She was like, way up in LA, like in the valley up there, far away. So it was always all Zoom. But I just knew once I saw her on the video call that it would be okay. I have an easier time opening up to women. I don't know why, than men, but I don't know. Probably because I love women. But that's beside who doesn't. I was always the teddy bear friend zone, as they called me in high school and college. They wouldn't want to date me. They would say, "Oh, we would love to marry you," but unfortunately. So I learned how to talk to women pretty well throughout my life, and
I'm just curious now, but because what you said earlier, you said you hadn't been on a date in a long time prior to recently.
Yeah.
How long is a long time?
Oh, gosh.
I don't mean to embarrass you or
No.
anything. I'm just curious.
A real date, probably 10 years,
10 years.
I might have known.
Was it?
Yeah. I might have
You think that's because of your personal image of yourself that you didn't want to ask someone or put yourself out there?
Yeah, that rejection was the hardest part for me. Now it's not at all. I mean, when I started putting myself back out there and getting that confidence and getting all of it back and liking the way I looked and just feeling good and not being weighed down by that heavy food and fat, you know what I'm talking about. But
yeah, absolutely. No.
Yeah. So
I used to have a client that said you don't have to tell Noah about the flood. He was in it.
True.
So
that's totally true. Yeah. I needed to figure it out, and I started putting myself out there and taking chances, and even before this girl I started dating, I went on a few dates, and it started feeling good again, and that rejection didn't bother me anymore. I just was like, okay, whatever. I didn't want to be like a jerk about it, but that new confident part of me was like, all right, whatever, your loss. I'll find somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody said, oh, don't go looking, because when you go looking, you're not going to really find it. So I kind of backed off. Because I was getting a little aggressive, because it's like, hey, I want to date, I want to do these things, I'm doing well, and I backed off, and it just kind of happened on a Facebook dating site, and she lives in my town, and she's a little bit younger than me, not too much younger, and it's just we've only really known each other for a week and a half, but we've been on like 6 dates, so it's been great.
Oh well, congratulations!
Yeah, well,
congratulations!
Yeah.
I hope it works out for you. Congratulations. Thank you. All right. So let's get you up to your weight loss. So you've got a therapist, you're walking, and you get to a dietitian.
Yes.
What did the dietitian instruct you to do when you first started out?
Well, when she did it, she was like, I know you love food, and we got to get before we get your portions down, I'm going to just get you on enough food that you're satisfied It's all that macros and stuff like that. Like, I'm going to get you, off the bread. I was never a big soda person. I drank a lot of water anyway, so that wasn't a big problem for me. But getting off the sugar, no more sugar and coffee, no more all that kind of stuff was really hard. She's like, I'll give you meal plans that will um, make you still happy and satisfied, but it's going to be tough. You're going to have to battle that all the old food I used to eat. I went through 2 or 3 months of, I mean, it was like drug withdrawal. I mean, I'd be sitting, and it's during COVID, so I'm sitting here in this chair, and I'm just like, and I'm in
Yeah.
pain too. I'm in physical pain from whatever was going on with my neck and all that kind of stuff. And you can't get down and get too many treatments because COVID, and it was just madness. I had to really sit in a room and be, by myself and just mentally battle through. And I did. And I don't know when it stopped, probably like 4 months in. I started liking the food that she was giving me. It was all lean meat, proteins, chickens, veggies. I love salsa. I always have made really good salsa. I will say it out loud, is I make really good salsa. I don't know anybody that doesn't like my salsa. I'll send you some salsa if you want, if you like salsa.
Well,
But
maybe you ought to
yeah,
go into salsa business, you know?
I feel, people have said that. They're like, you need to bottle this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I just got to meet the right people, I guess, like wholesale or whatever. But I yeah. So I make salsa. I just eat it on egg whites, avocado. I love avocado. I can eat that all day. I see that in your little post all the time, like on your little fit.
Yeah.
Oh, avocado. And I just started. Uh, One thing I love is frozen blueberries. To me, frozen blueberries with a little bit of peanut butter in it is like an ice cream sundae to me. I just started to like the taste of natural sugar, and all that artificial stuff. I just got rid of it. And I just started feeling so good. I can't explain it, and it's just one of those things. And you realize, wow, this stuff is good for you for a reason, you know. Everything's so processed and horrible, and it's just it's so easy to get. That's the thing. It's so easy to get that food, and then you just got to put your effort in to get. I've learned to shop the outside aisles at a store. You know what I mean? Like that produce section and that meat section, and stay away from the middle. If you stay away from the middle, you'll be okay. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
The more if you can't read it, don't eat it. You know.
Oh, yeah. I became a label freak, and I'm even down to like the amount of olive oil I use. Like I used to love getting salads from this local place. They're fantastic, and overall the salad's super healthy. It's like a Greek salad with chicken, but I don't know how much olive oil they're putting in that. So I decided, I'm gonna take control of this and learn how to make my own. So now I make my own, and my nutritionist is always like, look, I gave you a plan where you don't have to measure that oil. You're insane. You're crazy. I mean, more power to you. If you want to do that, it's just going to help you out more, in the weight losses. I've been pretty consistent on losing weight, but like I said, I've had a couple times where I'll gain a little bit. This 9 pounds, I think, is the most I've ever gained back. But God, I hope it's weight training weight, muscle and water. I think I drank a big glass of water before I weighed in yesterday. So I was like, oh, that was dumb, So we'll see. But now my next weigh in is on my birthday. So next Saturday. So we will see if I lose a big chunk of weight, because sometimes I'll lose like 10, 12 pounds. It's like still, and it blows my mind. It's just how the body
How
works.
often do you weigh?
I weigh once a week. Yeah, once a week.
Once a week.
Yeah, I do it
What
usually
day of
on
the week?
Saturdays. Yeah,
So you did it yesterday.
did it yesterday. I was doing it on Sundays, but one of the things I do, my nutritionist challenged me to do, and I've been successful at it. Today is one of those days. Is the day I don't work out and I take a day off, which for me is Sundays. Is to cut an extra 200 calories, and it's really hard. It's super hard because on the day I take my day off is the day I want to be able to eat, whether it's a cheat day or just eat all the food I'm having when I work out. She just asked me to try it. And I think she asked me to try it so when we need to move those macros down and the overall calories, it'll be easier for me to transition. So, yeah, it's tough.
So what is your macro goals been as you've been losing the weight?
Um, it's pretty high
What are your
protein.
limits?
I get about 300 to 340 grams of protein, which is a lot. Um, I do protein shakes a lot. I do like two a day, and then you know, um, let's see, my fat is pretty low. I keep it around, and I'm including olive oil. I keep it around 90 to 100 grams, and then my carbs, 150, 160, sometimes more, like 190. It's averaging about 3,000 to 3,100 calories. So right now, but yeah,
So that's what you shoot for a day is 3,000, 3,100 calories?
yeah, anywhere in between 3,000 and 31, I shoot for. I have an app, just like a macros app I use, and I, you know, calculate it by the week, and just kind of plan my meals out for the week one day, and then I just try to make it all equal. That I mean, I know I try not to mess with the formula too much. I always try to keep my protein nice and consistent, but my carbs and my fats, I can move them around by meal once in a while. I was eating with my parents all the time, but they like to, add extra things in. And I finally just said, you know what? I got to start making my own food. And that's just the way it's going to be. So it's okay.
Yeah. What app are you using to
I
log
think it's
your
just
macros?
called Macros. It's a free one. They have a pay
Macros.
service too, but you can just look it up by brand, whatever you're buying, and they have most of the stuff in there. I'm a big, I don't know if they have them out in Texas, Trader Joe's. Uh, you ever
Yeah,
heard?
we got them.
Yeah,
Well, at least in Dallas, not in Waxahachie, but there
yeah,
are some in Dallas
yeah,
and Fort Worth. Yeah.
yeah. We have a Trader Joe's out here. I think it started in Monrovia, California, which isn't that far away from me. I mean, it's up the way, but
Hmm.
yeah, a Trader Joe's, and then we have a place called Smart and Final, and I
I
go
never
there.
heard of that.
Yeah, that's in the other place. So yeah.
Do you do organic, non-GMO, and all that?
No, I haven't gotten that far. I don't know. I can't afford it. I would love to. I'm sure I could. There's certain things I will do that are organic. Stuff from Trader Joe's,
Hmm.
like their peanut butter. I go the organic peanut butter. I like that stuff. The stuff you got to stir up that doesn't have added sugar, and I just limit it.
What about the gluten-free? Do you do gluten-free?
No, well, I wonder how gluten free I really am since I'm really only eating a lot of vegetables and a lot of you know lean proteins. But I
You don't
definitely
eat much wheat, do you?
no, I don't eat any bread at all anymore. I'll have cheese once in a while. I love a Greek salad, so I'll have some feta cheese, but once a week at the most. So I'm pretty good. Yeah.
So describe your food for the week. What
Um,
do you eat most days?
Most days I'll have like every day in the morning I have like uh I guess it would be a cup and a half of egg whites. So yeah, a cup and a half of egg whites, but on top of that I'll put some like cremini mushrooms and just some garlic and pepper, and I measure out I only use about one tablespoon of olive oil, and then I cover it in my salsa, like 8 ounces of my salsa, and that's like my breakfast. It's about 500 calories, 600 calories, something like that. And then I'll go work out. I can't work out first. I tried doing that, and every time I wanted to dry heave every time because I need a little bit of food in my stomach. Coffee is definitely my addiction. I will drink like 4 to 5 cups of black coffee a day, and I need to cut back on that. But it's kind of like my coping mechanism right now. It helps me a lot. So, but I drink 2 gallons of water a day. So right away when I get up in the morning, I take I I take my vitamin, like a vitamin D and some turmeric in a supplement, and my Prilosec because I get heartburn and I love spicy food. But I'll take that in the morning, and then I'll drink a big 32-ounce of water right there, and then coffee. Then I'll go work out. When I come back, I'll have my mid-morning little snack. It's usually only like 150 calories. Either a couple of apples I'll have, or small little apples, or uh, celery with my salsa. I'll have like 8 ounces of my salsa. So it's not even that bad. And then my lunch, it depends. I love tuna, so I usually have a couple cans of tuna in the water, and then just 2 little tablespoons of mayo and olive oil, and I'll put some like bell peppers in there and jalapenos and stuff that's fresh and nice vegetables and onion and it varies. Sometimes I'll have some salmon with some. I love zucchini, so I'll just cook it up, and I just control the olive oil, and spice the heck out of everything. That's one thing I've learned is if you season your food right, anything will taste good. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's great. All right, what about a dinner?
Dinner. I like bigger dinners usually. I try to do the what do they say? Eat like a king in the breakfast, but it's hard sometimes. I like ground turkey a lot. Sometimes I'll make a slow cooker turkey chili without any beans, and I'll just have it with like some bell pepper and onion and stuff that's super low carb on the vegetable itself. So, but I like the vegetable, and I'll split that up, and the next day I'll have that for lunch or something like that. And it varies, but
It sounds like your proteins are really lean. I mean, you're talking
super lean.
turkey, fish, you're
Yeah.
talking, yeah.
I
You're
do
not eating
ground beef
many like,
once a week, and if I do it, it's super lean, like the 96.4 or whatever, like from Trader Joe's. I guess that's organic. I'm not sure, but I'll do that, and I'll just put like some sliced jalapenos because it's a little salty. I'm a salt freak. That's my thing. And I used to say I don't like sweets, but since I don't get to have them very much anymore, I realize, oh, you like sweets. So,
yeah.
but
Well,
yeah.
I think sweet and salt are the two things that really, um, they use to make us addicted to
Oh,
their fruits,
yeah. Oh, that's how I got addicted to
100%.
everything. Yeah, yeah.
Do you eat out much?
Not very much. If I do, I try to get the healthiest thing I can find on the menu, which is usually like a Greek salad or something like that. And I get a cheat day, once a week. If not even a day, I try to just do a cheat meal. And it's crazy how when you're in that zone, even though you're allowing yourself to have that cheat, how you'll still control it. And I'm like, oh, I don't need all that carbs. Like I'm just gonna eat a whole bunch of like fatty meat, and that'll be fine. As long as I get that protein, I'll feel fine. But yeah, it's crazy how I like healthy food now. I never thought I would. I mean, you couldn't get me to eat an apple to save my life, a couple of years ago.
All right,
Yeah.
we're up to now. How did you get introduced to DDP yoga?
Like I said, I was a giant fan of Dallas, and I would watch a lot of YouTube videos and stuff that he was doing, and I saw the Arthur Borman video, and I saw the Jake the Snake stuff going on in 2012, I guess it was, and just being a lifelong fan of that whole thing of wrestling in general, and I just started seeing him helping people, and I would always say, "Oh, I would love to do that," but I just would never take that leap. And I had a buddy that was doing the program about 3 years ago. He was always a skinny guy, but he was a big fan too, and he was like, "You should try it." And I guess it would be November of 2020, a couple months into my just walking only journey, I decided to take the plunge, and I bought the rebuild DVDs because
All right, this is Vance, and we're back for part 2 of the Seth Barnes podcast. We had some technical issues. When did we do that? Saturday?
Sunday. Yeah.
Sunday. We had some technical issues Sunday. So today's Wednesday, the January the 26th. So I've got the first half downloaded, and then we're going to carry on with it today. So sorry if we beat over some territory that we've already talked about. You know, I'm old. I forget shit, you know. So I can't remember shit. So I got CRS. So, all right. But let's, the way I remember it is that the last thing I asked you before we started having technical issues was, tell me how you got started with Ddp Yoga. I think we got all the background out of the way, and then we just got into the Ddp Yoga stuff. And so, and also I need to say here, I looked at the first part, and it was in profile mode, and so this time I've asked him to do landscape, so I'm hoping it takes his full screen. So I don't know. I've got to play with it. So this is, you know, y'all are experiencing working out the kinks. So I'm sorry, Seth. So tell us how you got involved with Ddp Yoga.
Like I said, I was a big fan of Dallas and wrestling in general growing up. Got to go to a WrestleMania back when I was about 14. That was a lot of fun. It was in Anaheim out here. And I've always been a big fan, and was following him, helping Jake and Scott Hall and all that kind of stuff. So I decided, I'd had a friend that did a little bit of it or knew about it. He was a wrestling fan too, and told me about the program. And I always wanted to try it, and I could never really commit. But in November of 2020, I just decided I got to do this, and I don't care how hard it is. But I realized that I could do it. Dallas is so positive in those videos and just reassuring, and I was like, I can do this. So just been going ever since.
So what was your weight when you started the Ddp Yoga?
I think I was probably about, like I said, I started walking first, and that was 561, but I'd say I probably started DDPY when I was about 520, at least 520. Yeah. And I mean, now I'm 340 pounds, so it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, if I remember right, you're 221 down. At least you were Sunday. Now, yes. I think Wednesday's your weigh-in day. Did you tell me that?
Oh, no, I'm going to do it on Saturday.
So, okay, yeah. All right. So you're still 200. I know that when we talked on Sunday, you were a little upset because you'd gained 10 pounds or so.
Yeah. I was a little bummed out. And I know those things are going to happen. And it's the psychological thing. The physical's fine. I worked out this morning. Had to take my car into the dealership and all that stuff, and you work around those problems. I never thought I'd be, good at doing that. I'm getting better and better, so you got to work around it.
Which workout did you do?
Today I did some weights. I didn't do DDP today. I'm doing DDP tomorrow. I usually do, the main one I do the most is fat burner. I've noticed that. I do that a lot. Sometimes I'll do energy. Yeah,
I did fat burner with my wife last night because I'm, since I put this weight back on, shit, over Christmas and Thanksgiving and first of the year, I let my Ddp Yoga slip a lot, and I mean it's killing me. The fat burner's killing me, so I've got to get back into my Ddp Yoga strength. So, but I know that you had said you started with the DVDs, that you started with the Rebuild series.
The Rebuild series, the bed stuff was how I had to start. And I just realized it's going to be a process and it's going to be slow. And before I knew it, probably within, I don't know, like 2 weeks, I was doing the chair. And then after about a month of that, started doing the stand-up series. And I saw your YouTube video on it. And I'm like, okay. And it just kept getting easier and easier. And you start accomplishing goals. And I'm sure, all the healthy eating and everything was massively having the effect it was. So that's what I was able to do. Yeah.
So the as you well, how long did you do the rebuild series? How long did you stay? Because I know at some
Uh,
point you said you bought the next set, the beginner
well, it
series.
wasn't even that long ago. I'd say I bought the first set, 1 and 2 disc in um, September, I'd say, or October. So it's really only been about 3 or 4 months now on that program. And I remember the first time I did Fat Burner and Energy, I was like, oh my gosh, like, there's no way I'm going to do this. And the next thing you know, you're pulling those moves out and you're getting better at it and you're getting faster and I don't know about you, but like sometimes I have trouble getting my heart rate up now. Like it's like a mission. I have to go walk up. I live in a town with tons of hills, which is really great for the walking. And I just have to like torture myself sometimes, which, that's one thing I like about doing the DDP is, um, other than walking, that beats your body up and that DDP does not at all. It's awesome. It's crazy how you can get that heart rate up. And
Yeah. So
yeah,
so you did. You said you bought the beginner series and just
yes.
in September, October, not too long ago. So you did the rebuild then from you started November of 20, and so for about a year then you did the
Yeah.
rebuild series with your
Yeah.
walking. Is that about right?
Yeah. With the walking, I also started swimming a lot. I really enjoy that and I got better at that. And about June or July of last year, I started doing the weights. Just a recommendation to try from my nutritionist. She does exercise classes. I actually haven't done one of her exercise classes yet, but she just try it nice and slow. And I really enjoy weights, and I just to incorporate it all. I'd say back in April of last year, I started doing those 2 a days, not so much of the DDPY, because I really feel like I go hard on that stuff. I'll do DDPY and then take a walk in the afternoon or just do it right afterwards. And just to be able to put your headphones on and just, it's such a mental battle. For me, it's like getting out in nature has been awesome and I really enjoy it. I haven't done a DDPY outside. I've seen you do some on videos, and I'm like, I gotta try that.
Well, no, it's we take the sometimes when we go on trips and stuff, we take the mats and we do it out by the lake or out by the beach, and it's pretty cool, man. It's really brings a whole different perspective to it. It's hard to hear, like if you're on the beach with the wind blowing,
Yeah.
but if you had headphones, it's an awesome experience just to do it and get out in nature.
Yeah.
What's up?
Sometimes oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes when I do the workouts, I'll just put my headphones in and kind of do a custom one. Once you learn all these moves, you start kind of making your own routines up. And I do that once in a while because even though I love Dallas, him yelling at you over and over and over will get you going. You're like, all right, I've heard this a million times. I think I've memorized the entire dialogue of those DVDs by now. So,
Well, so
yeah,
the only other DVDs you don't have are the advanced, right?
yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think I have 1 and 2, and then uh, I don't think I have 3 and 4. I've been kind of doing it slowly, and I thought about getting on that app, but it's been my certain situations are kind of hard to
Yeah.
like. Do I really want to commit all to that? Like I said, I like doing so much of a variety of things, and I like having my gym membership, but I'm getting pretty good at it. I'm probably going to do the app at least by next year. I'll probably convert.
Well, I encourage you with all my heart, 100% to do the app because there's just so
Yeah.
much more material and so much more into the app than there is with the DVDs. The what you've done is unbelievable. But with the app, I know that I think I remember you telling me that you did try the app a little bit right at
Yeah,
first.
it came with the trial. Yeah,
Yeah,
when I got the first rebuilds. Yeah.
but you don't, at that point you don't really know what you're doing yet. You're 30
No.
days, and there's a big learning curve of trying to get around that damn app, and so
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a lot different. It would be a lot different situation now than when you were first starting out with the rebuild series. But
Yeah.
the way I understand the history of the program is that Dallas started out with the YRG discs, and he was selling
Mhm.
DVDs, and then he met Steve Yu at a chance meeting in an airport, and so who was a documentary filmmaker, and also whose wife had won some fitness program that they both had competed in, and his wife won it for female side, and so they formed a partnership, and they started putting in, you know, kind of changed it to what it is now, DDP Yoga or DDPY, because it was yoga
Yeah.
for regular guys before, and they changed
Hmm.
the marketing. And then when they went on the Sharks Tank, you remember? You ever seen the
Yeah,
version?
yeah. I've seen that episode now. I didn't see it when it aired, but I definitely saw it. Especially when I that recent Relentless on Prime. I watched
Yeah,
that, and that was really inspiring to watch. I could watch that over and over and over, and
it's
just
good. It's
get
inspiring.
re-inspired every time. Yeah,
Well, Dallas is relentless. It's unbelievable. But
it is. Yeah,
but they went on and for the Shark Tank to try to get money to move into an app base, um, and they had got such success out of the or good advertising out of the Shark Tank that they end up building the performance center and funding the app, and so they've built the app. But basically, that's a long way of me just kind of give you the history. But as I understand it, but what they've done is they still do the DVDs for everybody that's doesn't want to try the app for whatever reason, but most of their the future of the company is in the app.
yeah, yeah,
That's where they're putting in all their the more of their time and effort is in developing new material for the app. And so
yeah,
in there's live workouts. They film live workouts every week and put them in there. They have motivational Mondays. They have tutorials. They have the nutrition section. They have fabulous Facebook Friday where they highlight some people in the Facebook group DDP Yoga. And
yeah, yeah. I'm on those.
yeah, so you're in the Facebook group DDP Yoga,
I'm
right?
in the Facebook group. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a pretty open person and a social person, but when it comes to like computer stuff, I'm a little bit more closed off, and like I haven't done all the photos and stuff like you guys have, but you know, I understand how that helps, keep you accountable and all that kind of stuff. But I have really good support from my family and friends on Facebook. Even though my town is, a suburb of LA, it's a small enough town that, a lot of people know me here and they're like, wow, I can't believe he's doing this. Because they've known me a long time and I've struggled, up and down and up and down for years. And it's finally sticking. So that's the best part. Yeah.
they talk about everybody asks you why is this time different? What makes this time different? What do you think?
For me, I think I kind of hit my emotional bottom, not just physically. Physically, I was so messed up. I think I covered that in the last time. I couldn't sleep anymore and I was having panic attacks and just everything kind of just with the pandemic just hit and it was just too much to handle. And I just, I don't know. I don't know what I just told myself, you can do this or you're going to die. I mean, it really kind of came down to that. 39 years old. At the time I was 38, and you're going to be 39, and I don't want to die. I have too much to live for. I really do. I enjoy a lot of other aspects of life, but the food just had a hold on me like you couldn't believe. And it was just, it's still a struggle. There's still times I want little bad things, but a lot of times now, I don't think my stomach can handle it. Like I don't want to eat it. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
get it away from me. It's too much.
Well, I mean, it sounds like to me you and I had a lot of similar trajectory from my first year or two, because I started with walking. I started with aqua aerobics and then swimming, and then tried some body pump, and then Dallas reached out to me, and I went wholeheartedly into the Ddp Yoga, and then that helped me into all the other things, to be able to do the swimming more, and to be able to do, I ended up doing some weightlifting and biking and all kinds of stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't done bikes yet. I want to. I have done like the exercise bike at the gym, but I know that's not the same. But it was kind of the same thing for me. Like I was talking about that heart rate thing. Before I did DDPY, when I go on some hills here in town, I hated it and I didn't like that feeling. And once I started doing that yoga, and you're not really moving, but you're still getting that heart rate up, I kind of like started chasing that high, and before you know it, walking up those hills isn't so bad anymore. And it comes to the point now where my cardio is getting so good that I'm just like, wow, like this is unbelievable. What do I have to do to make myself get to that point,
How far are you walking, and how what kind of distance are you doing on your swimming?
Swimming, I do about 30 laps. I think it's a 25-yard pull one way, so I'm doing, I don't count a lap till I do 50 yards. So I'm probably doing about 1,500 yards
Doing about a
in
mile.
about a mile. And I haven't done swimming for a little while. It's been really crowded at the gym, especially during, everybody goes back to the gym in January. So at the time I go at like 10 in the morning, it's kind of busy. But as far as walking, I mean, it started literally around the block a couple times, and now yesterday I did uh, about 4 miles. Oh no, almost 5 miles. Sometimes I do 4 or 5 miles. It takes me like an hour and a half, 2 hours, but I got a heart rate monitor, and it's incredible. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Man, do
Yeah.
you ever think you'd be living this life?
No, not at all. I mean, people are starting to ask me to do 5Ks now, and we have a thing here. We have a big bridge that goes over the harbor. It's an old bridge, but it's they have a thing called Conquer the Bridge in every September or Labor Day, and I think I can do it. I mean, I do crazier hills in my own town that are steeper than that bridge, so I'm thinking 5 miles, I can do that.
Well,
So I think
do
I'm
it.
going to sign up this year. Yeah, yeah,
Sign up, man. Look,
yeah,
once
yeah.
you commit, then then you can't back out.
That's true.
Once
That's
you
true.
commit, so you know
I
what?
think, yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I think a lot of the accountability, which blows my own mind, is myself more than friends. I've had friends go, man, you should take it easier. And they're right, but I feel like every time I go on a big walk and I see that hill and I think, oh God, I don't want to do this hill. I just say, but you can do it now. And I know it sounds so simple, but it really is that simple. I said, okay, I'm going to be breathing hard when I get up to the top of that, but you're going to feel so good once you get up to the top of that thing.
Absolutely, it's a
So
high. It's a
it
high.
is. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
And I have a well. Let me ask you this before I go there. Used to, before leaving the house, what was your mental process like?
Oh, it was just misery. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to even get in the car. If I was going to the gym, I would convince myself, like, especially because I had tried swimming before and had some success, lost like 40 pounds, but could never keep the weight on. And I would go to the gym, and it just started getting, you know, 30 minutes turned into 20 minutes into 15 minutes, and I just didn't want to do it because I would just go and eat, fool myself that I can have as many carbs as I could. And no, it doesn't work that way. And it just mentally would put me in a bad state where I just stopped going. So I think because I'm eating so healthy now, it really just makes it that much easier. And I'm getting good sleep. I sleep like a baby. I mean, oh my gosh, it's great. Yeah.
What I was going to tell you about the trying to get your heart rate up doing DDP yoga. I've seen Dallas say if you're not getting your heart rate up, you're not engaging your lower body as much. I mean, that you've really got to, it's easy to, when you're going through the routine, to take the focus on what you're doing with your arms and not
Yeah.
concentrate on trying to grip the toes with the mat, trying to keep your calves engaged and your thighs and your buttocks and glutes. He wants you to say glutes, but
Yes.
you keep your core engaged, and the more you can keep all of that stuff engaged, the higher your heart rate's going to go. And so if you I've heard Dallas tell people that you're not engaging your lower half if you're not getting the heart rate up, because you can get it up to whatever you want if you're really really engaging in the exercise.
Yeah. My big plan is to get better at that. I also take a traditional yoga class from my friend who teaches up the street, and she likes a lot of the program. I've showed it to her and stuff, and she's like, "It's great. It's great for what it is." But I'm also trying to learn like how to really get into those positions more traditionally. And I'm not into the spiritual side of it, but I'm starting to be a little bit, just slightly. And it's good because she's a pro, so she can really show me like how to get your hands in the right place during down dog and all that kind of stuff. And I try to apply her knowledge with all the other knowledge I've already gained. So, and it's only going to help. So,
I mean, that's
yeah,
what the beauty of it is that there are no boundaries.
no,
What
great.
what we what we before kept ourselves from doing, that doesn't really apply anymore now that you've gotten the physical ability to do it.
Yeah, I think the hardest part for me is the mental. And the hardest part for me so far is trying not to burn out. I mean, I'm going 6 days a week, whether I'm doing weights or not, and that's been the hardest thing is to kind of slow down a little bit. This weekend is my first 2 days off, I think, since I started. I'm gonna take my birthday and my traditional Sunday that I don't work out off and see how that goes. I have all the faith in the world that I'll be able to get back on Monday, and be fine. But I'm gonna allow myself a little bit of fun this weekend. Heck, you only turned 40 once, so
That's right. That's
you know.
right. Congratulations.
But thank you. Yeah, I just I promised myself that I was gonna eat some protein, but I'm gonna try not to eat a lot of carbs, and I feel like I won't feel so guilty that way. Allow yourself to have some steak, or there's a barbecue place down here that I really really like, and I'm gonna indulge just a little bit.
California barbecue.
Well, it's more of I don't know if it would be considered Texas style or not. It's called Whiskey Flats. It's a really nice little place that just opened up, and they're really nice down there. So,
Very
yeah,
cool. All right.
yeah, yeah,
Well, they try to stay away from the sugary sauces. That's the big
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
That's where they get you at the barbecue joints. All the sugary sauces
yeah,
and the ribs. They put brown sugar on the ribs, and
yeah.
so. All right, man.
All
Well,
right.
you what what where do you go from here? What's your plan? What's your goals?
My Well, my first big goal was to get to 300, and I'm only about 40 pounds away from that. So I have no doubt I'll hit that. And I think my ultimate goal is 250, and then it'll just go into that maintenance mode. But I'm not sure. I'm 6'3", like I said, and I feel like 250 I'd probably be pretty happy. I'm happy right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm thrilled, but I want to be there. I want to get a little bit more toned and fit in the weight department, but I'm not going to stop doing DDPY. It's too good. It's so every time I get done, even though I'm tired and I'm sweating, I always feel better. My day is so much better, mentally too. Yeah.
So you doing DDP yoga 6 days a week?
No, I'm doing it 3 days a week. I was doing it four, but recently, a couple weeks ago, I switched up to 3 days of weight training a week. But I might go back to four, because I'm kind of doing doubles. I'm doing a big walk after DDPY. So I'm probably doing too much, but I'm enjoying myself. So,
No,
you
I
never
mean,
know.
yeah, that's all that matters is that if you're having
Yeah.
fun, and you don't burn yourself out, just do what,
Yeah.
just do it while it feels good. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been at it now for a year and 2 months. You've been
But
at it 14
yeah, yeah,
months. So
yeah.
you
It's
right,
crazy to think it's
yeah,
fast.
ride this initial. You keep riding it out. Go as long as you can, and
Yeah. I haven't plateaued yet, and I'm sure I'm going to hit that plateau pretty soon here. I don't know how much longer till I really hit that plateau. Like I said, I did gain weight, but I had drank like a huge glass of water, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but we'll see how I do it this Saturday. So,
all right, but 221 pounds in 14 months.
yep, yeah,
I
15
mean,
really,
that's
15, yeah,
that's 15 months. That's awesome,
yeah.
man. That's awesome.
Oh, I know, man.
Well,
It's crazy.
I would encourage you to get the app because, um, you do would get burned out doing the same old exercises, the fat burners and the energy and the below the belt and the red hot core. Have you done the red hot core any?
I tried it a couple of times, man. That was pretty brutal, but I think I should try it again. I remember thinking, oh, I'm going to do this stand up because I want to take a break. It's going to be easier. And man, it wasn't any easier at all. But I enjoy doing that. And I think doing the weight training, uh, because I've been working on some core stuff in the weight training, uh, it's just helping me get better. The one thing I can't do yet is, and I see you do them, and I don't know what weight I'm going to have to get to be able to do the push ups. I pretty much I'm modifying to the point where I'm holding myself in that position now. But 4 months ago I couldn't even do that. I just started planking a little bit on my, whatever that alligator as they call it,
Alligator.
and I was only doing that. And now alligator, I can hold that for like 3 minutes. I'm fine. It's crazy. It's so insane how you can build up. It's like wow.
Well, you'll get there, man. I mean, it took
Yeah.
me forever to get to do the push-ups, and I've lost so much over these last 2 or 3 months. I'm having a hard time with them right now. And
Yeah.
but I was really, man, I really knocking them out when I was down around 220. I could really do the push-ups. So
I bet. I bet. So yeah, maybe I'll have to reach that. Like I'm at 340 now, and it's a lot of weight to hold up on on everything. But it's just an awesome feeling. I mean, I don't know how my dad feels. My dad's working from home, so when I'm doing the workouts in the living room, he's the same age as Dallas. I think Dallas is like 6 months younger than my dad or something like that. And he's like, "How do you listen to that guy, man? He just yells at you." And I'm like,
yeah,
it's so positive, but he sees it and he sees the results I'm getting. He's in good shape himself, he keeps in shape. I've been trying to get him to do it, but I don't know what it's going to take to get him to do it, but
hey, you
yeah.
start doing push-ups around him, you start kicking his ass. It's he'll be down there with
Oh,
you.
on Thanksgiving we were playing basketball with my little nephew, and I had just walked 4.5 miles on hills in the mountains at 4,500 feet, and I was fine. We started playing basketball 2-on-2, and he's bent over and breathing heavy. And I'm going, "You okay? You okay, Dad?" And he's going, "Oh, stop it!" It was fun though.
Yeah, no, that's greatness, man. It just gets
Yeah,
better. It just
yeah,
gets better. That's all I can say. But do get the app. It costs about, if you pay
yeah,
annually, it costs about $100 a year. And
yeah. I can do that. I got to stop making
mhm,
the excuse. I'm gonna go do
yeah.
it. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
do it.
yeah, call me if you have any questions about
Sure.
how to navigate it or get around it. But
Yeah, I could
it's
think I
just
was figuring it out. Yeah.
it just keeps so much, keeps it. There's there's different instructors in there. There's I don't
Yeah.
know how many different instructors, and it's just there's just so much more stuff in there, that's the app's the only way to go.
Yeah.
They've started this. DDP Yoga on demand streaming, but I don't know what that's
Ye-
all about. Yeah,
Yeah, I know they have. I have one of those Roku's, and I think they're on something on that. I remember. I just don't have it in the place that I have the most room to do the workout right now. I have a
yeah,
tiny room that I'm in right now, and there's not
uh,
enough room for me to do those
yeah,
workouts. But maybe
yeah.
some of it, but not all of it.
So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but I'm 100% on the app. 100% on board on the app.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
What do you say to someone who's just starting out?
Take it one day at a time. I mean, seriously. Um, for me, I really I know it's a different battle of like a drug addiction, but for me it really is almost that kind of 12 steps kind of thing where you're just like, I got to do this one day at a time. Wake up tomorrow and do it again. Just like Dallas says, when do this again tomorrow, do this again tomorrow. I mean, it's so inspiring to just go, yeah, I can do this again tomorrow. So that's what I would say to people. Just really try to commit. It's going to be so worth it, you know.
Yeah. Did Have you met anybody in the DDP yoga community? Have you met any friends?
I've talked to a few people. I've seen a couple people with some struggles, um, and they're trying to get back to it, which is great. I haven't really talked to that many people besides you. There's been some people that leave comments on the when I do post on the app. I'm not on the app. I'm sorry, on the Facebook pages and the support page. Those are great things to have. Um, you know, Really awesome, and people are really, really positive on those things. That's what's so great about it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's unbelievable. 70,000 people, all positive and supportive.
yeah. What kind of? That's an awesome support system. Yeah.
The you do. What was it like, or have you been able to just walk in the store and buy clothes yet?
uh, I'm almost to that point. I haven't yet. I can't keep clothes long enough anymore. I have them for a month, and it's like I think I've gone down like 12 pant sizes or something insane like that. It's crazy. I order online a lot, and then I'll get clothes, and then 3 weeks later it's like, man, this is too big. But
Where do you get your
yeah.
clothes from?
Usually, like, there's a store called King Size I like. Um, there's also just Amazon in general. I can start buying shirts now with actual I don't have one on today, but actual graphics and stuff. I couldn't do that for a long time.
Uh,
But the best thing for me has been going, because in California we're still pretty mask wearing people out here, and when we go into stores, is I'll recognize people and they cannot recognize me. They haven't seen me this whole pandemic, and I got a mask on to boot, so I'll walk by them and like try to see if they see me, and then half the time I got to go up to them, and then they just look at me like, "Oh my God, what happened to you?" But that's an awesome feeling. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, what size were you buying when you were at your heaviest? What size clothes?
I was an 8X shirt. Yeah, 8X, and now this is a 5, and it's too big. I'm more of like a in between a 3 and a 4 now. So, yeah.
What about pant size?
I was a 62 waist, and now I have a 48 waist. So yeah,
Unbelievable, man.
that's more than 12. Wait a minute, I just realized that that's like
Yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane. I bought the 48s the other like a month ago, thinking I'm gonna have to fit into these, and I threw them on and tried them. And I'm oh my god, they fit now. This is awesome. You underestimate how much you've done. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, have you burned the bridges yet?
What do you mean burn the burnt my stuff? I have an entire closet right next to me right here that's just stacked like a little kid's pig pen of old clothes. I'm either gonna donate, but that's a good idea. Maybe I should go down and
Well,
bonfire it on the beach.
well, I mean, you could do it, but it's more of a metaphor. But it's get rid of it because you lose that safety blanket.
Yeah.
It's no, burn the boats. It's burn the boats. Do you know
Okay.
what? Do you know what that's from? The burn the boats.
No, I don't.
I,
No,
I
no.
think it was. I always thought it was like a Viking saying, but I think it's from a
Mm,
Spanish conquistadors. At least what
okay.
Wikipedia says, in Mexico or something. But and maybe some in the Caribbean. I don't know. But the
Yeah. Yeah.
the logic is when they sailed and they got to the new land that the person in charge, the captain, ordered the people to burn all the boats, and that
Wow.
way they don't have the ability to mutiny or leave or go home. That they're
Yeah.
stuck, and now they got it. Everybody's got to fight together to stay. Fight for their life, and so
Oh my gosh.
the metaphor is burn the boats is get rid of all those damn clothes, and it's I just recently I burned the boats. Some people keep some for like pictures, but I had given
Yeah.
away. I donated everything. I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
as soon as I got out of it, I donated it, and my weight right now is I'm damn near naked. I had to go to a J.C. Penney final clearance rack, just to buy some things to wear right now as I
Yeah.
start to get it back down. But I bought the cheapest stuff I could find, and I'm not going back up.
No.
It's a hell of an incentive when you got nothing to wear.
That's true. Right.
Yeah.
That's really true. You were saying about back of the Spanish doing that thing. Just on a side note, I found out recently that I had we've been doing that ancestry.com thing, and my family goes way back. That we had like a uncle or something that was like a rum runner in Barbados or something like
Oh,
that. Something
really?
in the yeah, it's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, something wild like that. I'm like, whoa, cool.
So which one did you do? Which did you do?
Uh,
Ancestry.com?
I think my aunt and my sister initially did that like a couple of years ago, but they're always getting updates. I did do that DNA thing, the 23andMe and stuff recently. So I've been learning more about like, my heritage and stuff. I had a lot more German and French than I thought I did. I thought I was just a, British Irish guy. That was it. But
I listen to audio books. I got a library card, and I get audio books and listen to them. And there was one that sounded interesting. It was talking about ancestry and lineage and all the things that's coming from these groups, ancestry.com. And there's one out there that's like a Wikipedia of ancestry. I forget the name of it, but you can upload and you got all these. It's unbelievable.
oh, cool.
But anyway, the I forget the name of it, but I was scared to start putting my stuff in there. But I want to do it. But anyway, the reason I say that story because I can't get this mental picture out of my mind. Uh, there was a lot of talk in the book about newfound brothers and sisters, and that. Uh, uh, and people that and not having a biological father in the relationship, but there was one that sticks out in my mind. There was a family of nine kids. The father had just passed away, so they did one of the genetic DNA tests, and it turns out that he was not the father of any of the nine kids. that the
Wow.
9 kids had 8 different fathers.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
So,
Oh,
that
man.
one just sticks out to me, and he
Yeah.
passed away not knowing that. So he raised 9 kids from 8 different guys.
Wow.
As my cousin always said, mother's babies, father's maybe, I think,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I want to do that 23andMe. Did you do the medical side of it to see what you?
Yeah. Well, some of it, they always ask like for more, and I'm like, that's okay. I'll just stick to the report. I mean, yeah, I did the whole, you spit in a little thing and you send it in the mail. And my sister did it, my mom did it, my dad did it. Even though we're all like the same, it's crazy how there is little differences even between your siblings. Like me and my sister have a certain percentage that's different. It's kind of cool.
Did
So,
you have any Neanderthal?
yes, plenty actually, and I joke with my mom because she has more than I do. So
Ah.
yeah, I forgot what the percentage was, but like it was something funny. Yeah.
Well, did you do the one where they tell you if you've got any possible medical situations to look for in the future?
No, I didn't. I didn't do that one. I should have, but I think I just did the straight DNA just to learn what my ancestry was. Even though I knew a lot of it already, I just wanted to know more complete.
Well, it's do you want to know what that you've got a
Right.
marker for Alzheimer's or whatever? Do you want to know
Yeah.
what you got to be facing?
Well,
I go back and
Yeah.
forth on that. I'm about to the point I think I do want to know, but I don't know.
I have to do that with certain cancers in my family. My grandpa had prostate cancer for a long time, and my dad gets regular checkups, and so that's one I'm gonna. Heck, I think I'm turning 40, so I'm gonna have to go get that test, and I'm not
Yeah,
really looking forward to it.
PSA
But
test and the finger wave.
oh boy, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to know my doctor really well. So yeah.
Yeah, well, my dad always said you're okay as long as you don't feel both his hands on your shoulders.
Oh my gosh.
That's an off-color joke. I may have to cut
Oh,
that
that's a
out.
good one.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a
I don't
awesome.
know. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about whether I leave that one in or not.
I know
in
these
the
days,
video.
yeah.
But anyway, it's a different world we used to live in. I got to be a lot more politically correct these
Yeah.
days.
Me too.
But well, the what do you? Hell, I'm running out of questions. Anything you want to tell the people out there? The people
I mean,
that
I
supported
don't know
you.
if I just want to thank all of my family, all of my friends, the support system on Facebook, everybody in the DDPY Facebook group, that the few times I have posted that have commented and given me encouragement. I think most of all, I don't know if he'd ever see it, but I don't, and so many people watching Relentless and seeing them tell their stuff to Dallas. I owe that guy my life. I really do. I mean, I know so many people that probably do. I don't want to get too emotional here, but I just want to thank him for saving me.
Well,
That's all I can say.
That's beautiful, man. That's what I tell him too. He didn't give me a second. I mean, he didn't give me a new life. I forget how I say it, but basically he gave me a second chance at life. He gave me the ability to start over and do it again. That's what he gave me, and it's because I didn't have much of a life at 475, and I know at 5'10" and 475, I didn't. My life was definitely difficult, I mean, even just taking care of my personal needs, at that weight.
Me too.
It's unbelievable, and now when, I don't even have those thoughts anymore about leaving the house. I just go and do it. I just know I can.
Yeah. I leave the house more than I ever have before because a lot of times watching TV will trigger that hunger. And I'm like, I got to get out of here. I got to go do something, it's hard here in California right now with the surges and stuff. We're getting better. We're starting to get better. But and people are still kind of scared to go out, but I'm not scared to go out anymore. I do my thing. I respect what everybody decides to do with that, but
Yeah.
whatever your decision is, but I love getting out in nature now. I never realized how beautiful the place I live in. Right on the coast here, you go up in some of these hills and the views are just incredible, and
You know,
it's a great feeling.
do you ever do any meditations? You meditate at all?
I've been, like I said, with my other yoga instructor, I've been kind of learning some of these other techniques. One of them's called Kundalini yoga, which is like, it's kind of intense actually, but it's more meditative. And I have my health coverage covers the Calm app, and that really helped me in the very beginning when I was really having a lot of pain. They have really cool
Man,
things in
you
there.
got good health coverage. Covers dietitian, covers all kinds of
Well,
stuff.
no, the dietitian was my friend. It's my friend's sister-in-law. But so he's a great friend to be paying for that. I don't know what their deal is. I just accept it, and I wanted to accept his help because when I first started with the food, it was really hard to, I was under eating, and you think you know everything, and you don't know everything, So once I got a professional involved, I'm happy. I have struggles still, especially when I go really, really hard. I don't want I don't want to go over those macros, and but I give in once in a while. You have to, you have to.
Tell me,
You gotta live.
tell me what the macros. I forget if we went in detail
So
about it.
I'm about like 3,000 calories a day right now is my goal, and it's like 300 to 340 on protein, and then
Yeah, you
like
told me this.
yeah, my fats are like 90 or something, and then my carbs are like 150, 160. It
Okay.
varies, but yeah.
Yeah. I remember now. We talked about that.
Yeah,
Well,
but I
all
don't do
right.
any breads, any sugars, anything like that. So it's
Well,
hard.
have you
But
got
yeah.
any notoriety there around your town? Any like publicity in the
Um,
paper or anything like that?
Not in the paper. No, I don't have anything locally for the weight loss. In the past, I've been in some paper stuff being a musician, and I'm in a band that has some popularity in this town. In fact, I'm playing on my 40th birthday. My band's playing this weekend at a local venue, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Is it
So
Warehouse One?
yes, Warehouse One.
And
Check
you
us out if you feel free
and
on
it.
Spotify.
All
Yeah,
right, all right. You're gonna be
yeah.
like Neil Young and pull it unless they kick Joe Rogan off Spotify.
Oh my gosh. I like Joe Rogan. I do. I listen to him, but I love Neil Young too.
Yeah.
But I pay for Spotify, so I hope they don't take Neil Young off that because I listen to him all the time. Oh my God, that's a controversy in itself. Ugh,
Yeah.
I read that the other day too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
yesterday. Yeah.
hey. How has your music changed since you? I know you teach
Oh
it
my
and you
God.
play it. How's it
I mean,
changed?
before I would, you could ask anybody in my band. I was miserable. Like getting up and standing for half an hour with a heavy guitar on your back is just brutal. And loading gear was a big deal. Now it's like I can run circles around my band. We played in September outdoors, and we played for 2.5 hours. And after 2 hours, they wanted to take a break, and I'm going, "What's wrong, guys? I can go all day. Let's go."
Yeah, that's
It's
awesome, man.
insane. It's so amazing now. I mean, I loved music already, but honestly, food was starting to take away the thing I loved, playing it and performing. And now it's like I got it all back, and it's so awesome. And I try not to take it for granted. I can't wait to play this Saturday. It's gonna be great.
Hey, do you know a guy named Ian Moore?
Ian Moore.
You
No, I
ever
don't think
checked him
so.
out? He was a pretty good guitar player. I got to
Okay.
take his podcast several years ago. It was kind of fun. I kind of had a man
Oh,
crush on him. He's his dad was a Buddhist scholar,
Wow.
and he got real famous quick, and then. But he's taking his music. Check him out, Ian Moore. He
I will.
taking his
I
music
will.
all different ways. But who do you think's the best guitarist you've ever seen?
Oh, ever seen?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a hard one. There's this kid right now. Speaking of a really, really big guy, he's from Mississippi. I believe he's related to Charlie Pride
Ah.
somehow, but I think he's a relative. His name is I think it's Chris Kingfish Ingram, and he is
Huh.
incredible blues guitar player. Check him out. Real big, big guy. Um, and he's inspiring, man. He's probably my number one guy. And then there's another local guy here named Josh Smith, and he's really, really good. Great guitar players. Yeah.
What about Eric Clapton? I mean, not
I
Eric.
love Clapton.
Eric. There was a guy in the '80s that was supposed to be
Eric Johnson?
Eric Johnson. Yes.
I
Yeah.
got to see him about 10 years ago locally over here, and I looked at my cousin and said, I give up. I don't want to play anymore
Yeah.
because he's so good. He's so
Well, yeah, I
good.
saw him
Yeah.
back in the '80s. Yeah, Eric
Yeah.
Johnson.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. We have that thing called the NAMM show every year where all the musicians come out at that time for all the companies in the Anaheim Convention Center, and he was out here, so I got to go see him at a local club, and it was fantastic.
Oh
Yeah.
man. What do you
Yeah.
think about Prince and Jimi Hendrix? How do they fit in the overall guitar
Well,
scheme?
Jimmy's my number one guitar player of all time, just for the inventiveness, and Stevie Ray Vaughan's number two, always
Yeah.
been. But who else did you say? Oh,
Prince.
You said Prince. I never got into Prince's music, but I respect him. I mean, I saw him play I didn't see him. I saw him on TV years ago when they had a concert for George Harrison, and they played "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," and he did the solo, and it was incredible. It was so good.
I
Yeah.
saw a solo on YouTube one time that just blew me away
Yeah.
that he did.
Yeah.
Know?
Oh, so
Unbelievable.
cool. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, man, I keep playing good music, man. I love it.
I will.
So it
I
sounds
will.
like your band, you said, takes after Sublime.
Yes, very much in that kind of reggae punk rock mix, ska a little bit. Uh, the Sublime is from right across the bridge from me in Long Beach, California. I'm right by that big city, so
Long Beach.
yeah, yeah.
So you a UFC person, isn't the
I haven't been into it for a long time,
the
but
Diaz brothers, aren't they from around that area? Nate and
I think so.
Nate.
Yeah, the Gracies are. The Gracies are all from here.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I actually saw one time I was at a house party and one of the Gracie guys got in a fight and all of them showed up and it got pretty crazy. I got out of there. I wasn't involved. I went, oh, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna.
Well, you got to drink a lot of. You got to be pretty drunk to pick a fight with a Gracie, I think.
Yeah, I think that guy Tank Abbott's from around here too.
Yeah,
Huntington
I
Beach,
remember
think.
Tank Huntington
Yeah.
Beach. I remember Tank from
Yeah.
back in the day. That was back in the '90s.
Yeah, he did the wrestling for a while too. I remember in WCW for a little while. Yeah,
That dude was tough, man.
yeah. Real tough guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I
All
wanted to talk a little more to try to push my off-color joke away from the ending, so maybe they'll forget about it by then. So,
Yeah, I know.
all right,
problem
man.
there.
We'll keep
Okay.
keep kicking ass, and
I will.
participate more on the Facebook group because you've got a
I need
story to
to.
tell. You've got, we've got to. As part of the reason I do this is to help inspire others and
Yeah.
give back to the people that help me, the people that have reached out and that's what DDP does. He just helps and
I know.
inspires.
That guy is so incredible.
So
Oh, my
start telling your story. People need to know what you've done and how you've done it, and people need, people need their life changed because it's unbelievable what the program's done for us.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah.
All right, man. Well,
All
give
right.
us a closing. Give us your final word, and then we'll take off.
My final word.
Yeah, something
Don't give
wisdom. Yeah, give us some wisdom.
Yeah. Just don't give up.
That's
Just
right.
trust. Honestly, just trust the program. You're gonna get somewhere. That's the biggest thing I could say. It's gonna work. If you devote yourself, it's gonna work.
All right, man. I'm gonna check
All
out
right.
Warehouse One. If you get a chance to see
Okay.
Warehouse One, check them out on Spotify. Hey, if you want someone to follow you on social media, where do you want? If you want it, you
Um.
don't have to. If there's, if,
You can follow me on my Instagram. I do post on there. My weight updates. At least. It's at Warehouse Seth. So it's all one word. Warehouse Seth. Yeah.
Warehouse Set.
Yeah. That's the
I
easiest way.
I encourage you. The old hippie in me would be remiss if I don't encourage you to see to check out Dead and Company with John
I
Mayer.
will.
Check out
I will.
check out Sugaree in Dallas a couple of years ago. Sugaree, I think it's it. I can't remember. I'd have to ask my wife. It's like a 14-minute version of Sugaree. So I don't know. All right, man. We'll keep playing music. Keep spreading happiness and kicking ass.
I will do.
All right,
Thank you so
Seth.
much.
We'll see you, man.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye. All right. Thank you for listening to the podcast today. I'm your host, Vance Hines of Transform with Vance, where transformations begin every day. Please take a moment, if you will, if you like the podcast, to subscribe and follow, and you can find us on social media as well, either under Vance Hines or Transform with Vance. Please tune in and subscribe to our feed. You'll be able to hear lots of transformation stories. I'm in search of interviewing as many transformations as I can find. So if you have a transformation that you would like to have someone interview and have their and appear on the podcast, just send me the name and number, message me, and I'll reach out to them and try to get them here. But no matter what, a better life begins on the mat. Get on the mat and start your transformation today. Thank you.